In the shadow of Oakenreach's golden spires, where the rich grew fat and the poor grew thin, there was a crumbling stone house that no one wanted to look at for too long. Inside its cracked walls lived 23 orphans and one tired woman who still believed kindness could outlast cruelty. They called her Sister Willow, and they called the smallest boy Katori the weakling. Katori was 14, narrow-shouldered, quiet, and quick to flinch. When the older boys shoved him into the mud for sport, he never fought back. When they stole the extra bread from his plate, he only lowered his eyes. The others laughed and said he was born to be stepped on. Sister Willow would pull him aside afterward, wipe the dirt from his cheek, and whisper, "Strength isn't always loud, little flame." He never understood what she meant. He understood hunger, though. He understood the way the king's tax collectors kicked doors at dawn and dragged fathers away for a single missed coin. He understood the hollow look in mothers' eyes when soldiers took the last chicken or the last sack of grain. Oakenreach was the richest kingdom in the realm, yet its people starved beneath silk banners. King Omri ruled from a throne built of other people's tears. Years ago, when the old king died without a son, the council had forced Omri, an ambitious duke with a smiling mouth and a butcher's heart, to marry Princess Faye so the bloodline would continue. Faye had borne him one child, a girl named Ellie, and then quietly devoted the rest of her life to keeping her daughter's heart soft in a palace that rewarded hardness. One winter afternoon, Katori walked to town with a patched basket, hoping to trade mending for onions. He saw an old man beaten for stumbling in front of a noble's horse. He saw a girl no older than 6 sobbing because soldiers had taken her mother's market stall, for unpaid fees. He saw the guards laugh while they did it. On the way home, his steps slowed. What could one weak boy do against a kingdom of wolves? He found out sooner than he expected. 4 royal soldiers ringed the orphanage yard. Sister Willow stood in front of them, clutching a small purse that clearly held nothing like the tax they demanded. "We've been patient," the captain sneered. "Pay, or we take the building itself." "It burned down last time you came," Sister Willow answered, voice steady even while the children clung to her skirts and cried. "Leave us be." The captain smiled the way a wolf smiles. He plucked a torch from his belt, lit it from the guard's lantern, and tossed it onto the thatched roof. Flames licked upward instantly. The children screamed. Some ran. Some froze. Katori's basket fell from his fingers. He saw little Mina, 5 years old, thumb always in her mouth, still inside the doorway, staring at the fire with huge, confused eyes. He ran. Heat slapped his face. Smoke clawed his lungs. He found Mina curled beneath the table, coughing. The roof groaned overhead, spitting embers. Katori scooped her up, pressed her face to his shoulder, and turned toward the door. A beam cracked and fell, blocking the way. Fire roared between them and safety. Something hot and impossible surged in Katori's chest, not fear, not panic, but a fury older than he was. It felt like sunrise inside his ribs. Get her out. The flames around him bent. They did not touch him. They parted like curtains, curling away from his skin and Mina's. Golden light outlined his arms, bright as molten metal, yet his sleeves did not burn. He stepped through the inferno untouched, carrying Mina into the cold evening air. He set her down beside Sister Willow and collapsed to his knees, coughing smoke. The building crashed in on itself behind him, a funeral pyre of sparks. The soldiers stared, mouths open. The captain's torch guttered in his hand. Sister Willow hugged Mina, then Katori, tears cutting clean lines through the soot on her cheeks. "My brave boy," she whispered. Katori looked at his hands. They were shaking, but unmarked. No blisters. No pain. Just the ghost of warmth under his skin. He told himself it was luck. A trick of the wind. Anything but what it might actually be. That night, a kindly innkeeper named Master Renwick took them in. The orphans slept on blankets in the common room. Katori couldn't sleep. He slipped downstairs to scrub pots and serve ale, anything to earn their keep. Near midnight, a cloaked figure sat alone in the darkest corner. The hood shadowed a delicate face, but when Katori brought a fresh mug, the stranger caught his wrist gently. "You're the boy from the fire," she said, voice low. "The one who walked through flames." Katori tried to pull away. "I just got lucky." "No one is that lucky." She glanced around, then drew back her hood just enough for him to see earnest gray eyes and a circlet of silver hidden in her dark hair. "I'm looking for someone brave enough to stand against King Omri. Someone the legends might listen to." Katori snorted before he could stop himself. "You're looking at the wrong orphan. Everyone knows I'm the weakest." She studied him for a long moment. The Pheonix King was never chosen for his strength. He was chosen because his fire only answers when he protects the innocent. "Tell me, when you saved that child, did the flames obey you?" His mouth went dry. "I don't know what you're talking about." "But he did. Deep down, in the place that had blazed awake, he did." She leaned closer. "My name is Ellie. I cannot say more here. But if you help me find the one who can stop my father, I will pay enough gold to rebuild your orphanage 10 times over and keep every child there safe forever." Katori thought of Sister Willow's tired smile. Of Mina's thumb in her mouth. Of the old man beaten in the street, the girl with no stall, the mothers with hollow eyes. He swallowed. "I'm not a warrior." "I'm not asking you to be one yet," Ellie said. "Just help me search. Travel with me. If we find nothing, you still take the gold and go home." He looked at the soot still ground into his palms. The warmth that hadn't quite left his blood. "Fine," he said. "I'll go." The next morning, before dawn, 2 cloaked figures slipped out of the inn. One was a princess who had spent her life learning how to hide compassion in a palace of knives. The other was an orphan who still flinched when voices rose, who carried a patched bag in more fear than he would ever admit. They did not know the legends were already waking. Far above, in the highest tower of Oakenreach Palace, a single crimson feather, no one had seen its like in 500 years, drifted down through the cold air and landed, gently, on King Omri's windowsill. The king stared at it and felt, for the first time in years, something perilously close to dread. Somewhere on the northern road, a boy who had always believed himself worthless walked beside a princess who dreamed of mercy. And deep inside his chest, banked but never extinguished, the heart of the Pheonix King beat once, strong, patient, and waiting for the moment when protecting others would demand everything he had to give. The flames were coming. And this time, they would burn only what deserved to burn. That's the tale for today. If you enjoyed the story, please give it a like, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so the next story finds you. Thanks for listening, traveler. Until the next fire is lit, see you soon.